Buffs Nation, we did it. We did it. We got out of football purgatory. My goodness, I never thought that this was going to happen. If I'm looking back at myself with my thoughts, my predictions, my assumptions like a year ago, my goodness, I never even thought this was going to be a possibility with where we were at this past year. But hey, look at where we are now. Wow. We start reinvesting in the football program. We take a chance. I didn't really think it was much of a risk, but some people did. On Coach Prime coming here, giving him the keys to the car, saying, hey, run this program the way you want to. We don't care that your brand is bigger than CU. We don't care that you're bigger than the institution in the reach itself. Come in here, do your thing. We'll sell all the gear you want with your name on it. We'll allow you to have all the cameras in here that you want to. Just do your thing, and wow. Wow, 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 wow. This is another moment that cements the resurrection of this program. And I wanted to get my thoughts out here in just a simplified video. I did a live stream on this earlier. That went for like a little over an hour. But what I opened up with was the fact that we've been getting so much rain here this year. We've already surpassed by a large margin the precipitation we got all of last year in 2022. Now, in July of 2023, we've already surpassed it and more. We've gotten so much rain. Heck, we got snow on the day of the spring game that was on ESPN that I was at. I mean, we've been getting so much rain. Charles Lester has been here visiting yesterday. We got a nice little rainstorm. You know what the rain signifies. You know what it symbolizes, right? The end of a drought. That's where we're at with this football program. It's the end of the drought. It's time for a rebirth. It's time for a resurrection, something new. And this is the perfect fit, realistically. Of course, I would have loved if we could have gotten an invite to one of those Power 2 conferences, but that wasn't realistic. And they have their eyes, in my opinion, set on schools like Washington and Oregon, schools that have been a lot more successful than CU has in the last 20 years, and I understand that. Now, the Big 12, though, is a great fit for a lot of reasons. But before I get into all of that, one, hit that like. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I appreciate that. Yormark is my apparel sponsor. Use the code SCOBUFFS, link it in the description. He has all sorts of great lifestyle, streetwear, swimsuit, athletic wear, all of that stuff. We're coming out with Buffs gear soon. So be on the lookout for that. Now, this is poetic justice. I said this on my live stream. We left the Big 12 after hearing Larry Scott and his promises that he was offering us coming to the Pac-12 with the Pac-12 network going to become the most profitable conference in college football because of this network, and really it was a bag of empty promises that he delivered us. It was the worst move for this football program. We were already trying to kind of restart or kickstart the program back to life after struggling for the last handful of years, and the Pac-12 brought us to the edge of an extinction. I mean, honestly, if you're looking at it, I mean, kind of like the Buffaloes, I guess, have been, or Bison have been to an extent. We were an endangered species. If we're talking about this football program, we were on life support throughout this whole entire tenure throughout the Pac-12. Probably the worst football team in Power 5 college football over the last 15 years or so. And it is my pleasure that CU essentially is the nail in the coffin for this conference that brought us to the edge of death as a college football program. No greater pleasure mine than seeing us be the first ones to move out of this conference this year after UCLA and USC decided to bolt for the Big 10 this past year. We need to be a first mover. In college football, you do not win when you stand pat, when you wait to see what else is going on around you. You win when you move. If you are not moving, then you are falling behind. It is one of the most fast-paced and ever-changing industries in our country, and it's extremely important that we have people driving the decision-making of this program that aren't risk-averse. They want to take risks. They want to move. They want to be aggressive. And this whole move today is the culmination of when this program decided a little less than a year ago that they were actually going to recommit to football. They were going to put back money into the program. They were going to bring somebody in here that could resurrect the program immediately. And they brought in Coach Prime and Deion Sanders. We've seen what he's done with the recruiting. We've seen what he's done with bringing buzz and eyeballs back to the program. Again, Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, their press conference at PAC12 Media Day last Friday, 130,000 views. Second most out of all the press conferences. Defensive coordinator Charles Kelly, 45,000. You know who had the third most? USC's Heisman winning quarterback, Caleb Williams, at like 5,000 views. I mean, when your defensive coordinator for your team that was 1-11 last year is getting 9 times the views of Caleb Williams, man, insanity. It shows the draw, and you're going to see the TV numbers this year be off the chain, especially when we're playing schools like TCU, Nebraska, all of that. I mean, I can't think. Y'all let me know in the comments. Brett Yormark plus Coach Prime equals what? Because these two are destined to promote together. These two were destined to be close business partners. Coach Prime is going to be as important to the Big 12 as he has been for CU. Man, you got a face of a conference in Coach Prime, and both of them, they're okay going against the grain, taking risks, not being afraid to be outspoken about certain things. It took me a while to understand this, but it clicked with me just a few months ago. Like, wow, they would be such a powerful promotional duo. And this is going to only strengthen CU's position and the Big 12's position moving forward. It's going to attract more schools. This is only going to increase the TV revenue year after year. People are going to want to play CU. People are going to want to watch CU, and this is huge. Now, on the program standpoint, I mean, this is a huge win in terms of more revenue to keep Coach Prime around. We're talking about recruiting deep in the parts of the country that really live and breathe football, such as Texas, which like a vast majority of the schools are at. We have Florida, with UCF. Again, it's one thing, asking recruits from Texas and Florida to come and move out of state, move far away from home. But hey, at least we'll have a road game where we'll be in those home states where your extended friends and family can definitely come see you play, pretty much every year, whatever. UCF, it might be a little bit different, but that's a much more reasonable ask for these top-end recruits in these states than saying, hey, come to Colorado and you're going to be playing football exclusively in the West Coast within conference play, away from home. And now this is perfect because we know that with how the TV deal is going with the Big 12, Colorado is going to be in some of the prime spots every weekend for the Big 12. And so you're going to come here. The eyeballs are going to be on you like crazy. I mean, we're already seeing this. CU, no matter what the record is, they're going to be one of the most watched football teams throughout this entire football season. And this is just the baseline. It's growing from here. You're going to be able to be on TV, not playing at 10 o'clock Eastern for 4 of your games or whatever it is. You're going to become a household name because people are going to be able to watch you on big-time channels at good time frames, good time slots. It's going to be easy. It's going to be convenient. And, this just makes sense. Now, I will say, this is also this does give CU and Coach Prime some power, I think, within this conference. Just like Coach Prime has come in here at CU, he has been given the keys to the car. He's been given power. He's been given authority, autonomy. I would think that Brett Yormark is going to be doing that to some extent with Coach Prime as well, because there's nobody else in college football like him. He's a huge asset to this conference. And now you have other people with vested interests in making sure that he stays at CU. or I guess stays within the conference. But let's be honest, CU is going to be moving in here as one of these top dogs in this conference in 2024. I really do think that. And you got television networks such as Fox having a vested interest in making sure that Coach Prime stays at Colorado. You have the conference that wants to make sure that he stays at Colorado, because now this is a main attraction. This is a ticket. This adds legitimacy to everything that Coach Prime has been doing. Again, CU doesn't have a lot of the market data, the market share data that conferences typically look at programs to determine, hey, should we bring them into a conference? We haven't had good viewership over the last 13 years. We haven't. But now the fan base has exploded, because it's not just CU alumni or Colorado residents here that are a fan of the program. It's Coach Prime, and his fan base is exponentially larger than anything that we have at Colorado. And what's great is that we're combining now. We're joining forces to make this incredible force. And it's going to be something that only continues to grow from here in the Big 12. So I'm really happy that today has happened. Again, we had been speculating that a decision needed to come here at some point, because we couldn't just continue to wait on and see what was going to happen. No. We needed to act at a certain point. I'm glad the administration, the program, Rick George, hats off to him, our athletic director, big credit to him, the administration. We gave the Pac-12 a deadline. There wasn't a deal. We moved forward. We need to be focused on what's ahead, not just waiting around to see what other people are going to be doing. We cannot put our future in the hands of somebody else. We need to control our direction. And this is a great place. This helps solidify the Big 12. This adds legitimacy to the Big 12. And I hope that some of the Four Corner schools join. I would love to see Utah, Arizona State, Arizona joining as well, to continue to increase the strength of this conference, and that's only going to raise the TV revenue up with these Power 5 schools coming over here. That's what I hope for. But other schools that I'm really looking forward to playing, Kansas State, kind of kicking off that rivalry again. Texas Tech and Baylor. I mean, these are some of the birthplaces of the spread offense. I love it. It's going to be entertaining football. BYU, big-time fan base. And a lot of these Big 12 schools, they're in cities that aren't huge, but their fan bases, their alumni base, reach far beyond their city limits. Provo is a great example of that with BYU. I would love to see Utah in there as well, because, BYU and Utah, it's clear that they hate each other based on Twitter. They think they're above each other, all of this stuff. What better way to sell a fight? Bring back the Holy War. And that's what Coach Prime, that's what Brett Yormark, they understand. They understand that this isn't just like the conference stuff. It's not just like an academic thing. No, like they're not involved in that. This is about selling fights. This is about selling pay-per-view, so to speak. This is about creating a main attraction, a main ticket, creating storylines, creating captivating storylines. These two get that. So, man, I couldn't be more excited to see what happens. Now, the one thing that I do ask is, yes, this is still college football. So if we have more than 12 teams, which we do now, please change the name. Please. This drives me crazy. The Big 10, it is ridiculous that they're still called the Big 10. And what, they got 18 members or something like that? 16, 18 members? It's ridiculous. The Big 12 has had 10 members for a while. That drove me crazy. We are a group of college programs. Let's have a name of a conference that works, that makes sense, because it doesn't make any sense just having it as 12 moving forward. Let's rename the conference. Honestly, this is such a different Big 12 than what CU was in the past, because Texas and OU are gone. Missouri's gone. Nebraska's gone. A handful of Texas A&M, like a big portion of the schools that made up the Big 12 are no longer part of it. This is essentially a new conference. That's how you got to look at it. And I'm really glad that this is working out moving forward. We need to be in a place in which we're playing opponents in the heart of football country, where the viewership, it's going to be easily accessible, and we're going to be promoted. And Brett Yormark's a promoter. He's going to promote Coach Prime, and Coach Prime's going to promote the Big 12. And This increases CU's ability, like I said, to keep Coach Prime. But if something were to happen and he goes off to another job, this adds legitimacy to the program, where this becomes a destination job. This is a conference with stability that will get to the point where it will be making money to, might not be ever on par with the SEC and Big 10, but it can still be manageable to compete. And I think too, with the convenient time slots that the Big 12 media deal has moving forward, if there's teams on the bubble for the college football playoff that's going to be expanded, you see programs like Ohio State and Alabama get the benefit of the doubt with this 4-team playoff because of their tradition, their draw. Notre Dame too, their history. Now, you can't really look at recent history with CU, but this adds legitimacy. This helps CU get into the college football playoff, because the college football playoff selection committee is going to understand that this team is going to bring eyeballs. So if we are on the bubble, our brand is going to put us over. And that's a really big deal. Now, I do think that we can get to the point where we will compete for Big 12 titles. And I think that's going to be sooner rather than later, because this conference, the Big 12 is a good conference, and it's up for grabs, and it's only going to get stronger as time goes on. So I want to know your thoughts in the comments. This is a huge deal. Hats off to Coach Prime. This doesn't happen without him. Might move to the Mountain West if we didn't hire him. Hats off to Rick George for making this happen. Hats off for the regents, the boosters, the administration, for understanding that leaving a conference like the Pac12 academically, it kind of sucks in that sense. But once USC and USC left, it took away a lot of its prestige and in practicality, to be honest. And athletic conferences should be predicated on athletics, not academics. And this is a push in that direction to get our priorities straight. The academics will handle itself out. We're not going to lose our AAU status or anything like that. Things are only going to go up from here because of the investment in the football program. And you'll see our institution continue to rise and improve because of that. The football program, that is your main investment as an academic institution, and we see how much it's paying off here in Boulder, Colorado right now. So 4 corner schools, hope you join. Maybe, Oregon's meeting tomorrow, their regents are, man, now if Brett Yormark could pull that off, man, now that is a straight up miracle worker. I mean, we'll see what he does there, but it feels crazy to go from one day not really knowing what's going on to now like fully rooting for the success of the Big 12. And anybody else that's watching this from those fan bases, really happy to be back in the Big 12 playing meaningful football that people care about. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like. Please consider subscribing. Come on, let's get over 2,300. I think I'm just a couple away. So appreciate y'all as always. And as always, Go Buffs.